The Giants receiving core continues to be a major topic of discussion and for some concern all throughout social media. So here's what I'm going to do. Let's bring in a former Giants receiver who knows all about the culture here and had success both in college and the league catching rocks. Let's bring in a familiar face, a long-time familiar face, Super Bowl champ, Steve Smith. Now, Steve, You've been away from New York for a while, but you still know all about the culture. I talked to Brendan Jacobs, Lawrence Tynes, Jonathan Casillas, all about Giants culture. You've won here. So talk about what you've seen from this current team from a culture standpoint and kind of compare it to some of the most recent years when they've been losing.
Oh, well, I see a big turnaround in the team this year so far. I'm really excited watching them. I feel like they have all in a quote unquote tapped in. So like they all buying in, you know what I mean? And they're all just believing one play at a time and just putting in that work and it's showing on the field.
But for you as a player, how do you tap in to a coach's message? How do you buy in? What do you need to see from that regime?
Well, you got to see that, they care, they're focused on the details, they're putting in that work. They're trying to make the team better. They're not just forcing their way. The NFL is an evolving game, and Daniel Jones, he's a different quarterback than Eli. So he's an awesome talent, and you got to, work with who you have, Saquon, you know what I mean, and all the talent that we have. And the defense is just putting it all together, and it's becoming a wonderful thing to watch.
Well, that's exactly what Mike Kafka and Brian Dable's been doing. They've been working with Daniel Jones. We continue to see him progress, not only throughout training camp, but throughout the beginning of the season. And he's getting it all done without a true number one wide receiver. So I got to ask you, man, is this sustainable throughout a full season, or do you think with the trade deadline coming up, the Giants are going to have to go after a guy to make a run?
No, I wouldn't say they necessarily have to go after somebody. There's good talent out there like Odell. I think it would be nice if he came home. But the guys that we have, I think it's good. We even have Kenny. He's still, trying to work into it more, I would say. So we have a lot of talent. We just gotta hone in on the skills and just, tailor it around the players' talent.
All right, so those players' talents, you mentioned Kenny Galladay, he and Kadarius Toney, they haven't been on the field much just yet. They're playing with some undrafted guys and some guys who've kind of been journeymen throughout the league. So a lot of people are saying offensively, they're giving the credit to the coaches, the calls, the schemes, the routes and the formations. So in your eyes, how much of an offensive success is more schemes or more talent?
It's a little bit of both. The coaches, they're not out there playing. They can't catch, they're not running, so they're just calling the plays and trying to put you in that position. Kafka, it's funny, I was with him when I was on the Eagles. He was a backup quarterback, but I saw his drive and he was like a coach out there. So I think that's a great hire for us. And it's more about the players to me executing what the coaches are instilling and calling on those plays.
But you're talking about the players, Steve. They don't have, during that time when you were with the Eagles, Deshaun Jackson and Steve Smith. They don't have that time when you were with the Bucks. I forget who you're down there with. So talk about some of these offensive coordinators.
Victor Cruz.
Plaxico Burrs again. So Kafka and these guys are having to kind of draw things up, draw up these route combinations, these schemes for guys who aren't the Victor Cruzes, the Plaxico Burrs. Like, take us through an install on what that could be like for not only the Giants, but just for an offensive room that doesn't have that premier talent at receiver.
Well, that's why you have different reads. That's why you have a high intelligent quarterback in Daniel Jones. That's why you got a great running back. So, you have your number one weapon, which is like Plaxico. Like in the playoffs, when all else fails, we're going to Plaxico. If it's one-on-one, throw it to him. We might not have that right now on the Giants, but you can scheme it up to where you put guys in position that can win their matchups for that day.
And you're seeing a lot of bunch formations, a lot of motions, jet sweeps. It's hard keeping up with this offense sometimes. Like, you're just looking around, like, who got the ball?
Head on a swivel.
A head on a swivel at all times if you're on defense playing against the Giants offense. Last thing I see you with the gloves there, I see the great catch. Kind of talk about the gloves and the hat and the great catch app.
Oh, yeah, it's just a little app and video game business that I've been working on. We got the gloves and stuff. We're working with Hakeem and trying to work with other guys like Mario Manningham, just to instill, that football is still in me, and I'm just trying to enjoy life now and give it back to the kids.
Man, Giants fans are they're gonna go crazy when they see you pop up on their Twitter timelines today talking to us,
Big
man.
boo.
You did your work when you was here, bro. I told you I was gonna get you back in New York, man.
My God.
Hey, thanks for joining us, Smitty.
Thank you so much.